Yeah, this is a 1978 Camillus. This is a 1967 Camillus. These knives are renowned for having broke springs. About half the ones I find have broke springs. This is in the 90s, I think it is. That's a 92 Camillus. That has a broke spring. This one here is a 1975 Camillus. This is the one I'm going to restore as the original. See the blade is perfect. The only thing is wrong with it's got a broke spring, and I'm going to take the broke spring out of this knife here. See, the springs are good, but this should be an easy fix. I'm going to take this spring out here, sand that head off. See how that rounded head, you got to sand it flat, then knock it out from this side. Pull that spring out, take this knife apart and use it for spare parts. Then take this pin out, put that spring in there, and put that pin in, and I'll show you a little trick that we can compress that spring and put that pin in. So with that said, we're fixing to take this knife apart. It's good and flat now. Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, right there. See, there's one spring I'm going to be using for that knife. There's the other spring. Okay, I'm fixing to get all the rust off this spring and get it cleaned up. Alright, she is all cleaned up now. Alright, now, this is the spring I'm using. It's going to go in there, but we got to get this pin out. I'm going to carefully sand that down and punch it out, and we got to add a new pin in there. I'm going to try to knock that pin out. Coming out, see? Now I'm going to take this one and finish it off. Got it out. Okay, now we're going to keep everything in place and try to put that other spring in right now with a new pin. Got to get it lined up in that hole right there. Off a little bit. Okay, she's close. See, the trick is you got to put a point on this pin. That way you can reach up in there, pry down. We're lucky we can, if everything is lined up, we can go ahead and shoot through this hole. Oh, I got it. There we go. See that? It's in there. The trick is that point. that point. It won't do it if it's flat, but you make a little point like that, and you can get it partially in that spring hole, and it just keep pushing it, and it'll finally work its way through. It even helps when you put a little oil in there too. Okay, now we got to sand this flat with my sander, then beat it to like a mushroom head, pull it down to where this end, new end, stops here, then turn it over, cut it with my Dremel tool, then sand it as flat as I can, then as down to where I think it needs to be, then I'll beat it to a mushroom head. See how good and flat that is now? All right. I'm gonna see how this hole looks. I think that's just right. Now I'm fixing to cut this in and sand it flat and do the same thing over here as I did over here. How about that, guys? Brand new spring in the back. It ain't brand new, it's from a 1975 Camillus. This is a 1978. But look how good shape that blade is. It looks like the blade's never been used. I don't know how they broke the spring. Man, listen to that spring. A little tight. How about that? Good little knife now, ain't it? About half of these that I find have broke springs. But she's good now, though. It's going right into my collection.